Hey, and welcome. It is my absolute great honor and pleasure to welcome the amazing Jessica. She is master transformational coach, four-time best-selling author, international speaker, and has been featured on CBS, NBC, Fox, TED, and also in the UK in The Telegraph. She is a Canadian girl and she's living in the US. Welcome, lovely lady.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do this.
Amazing. So, what does self care mean to you?
Yeah, so self-care, that's a really interesting question because yeah, previously in my past life, self-care was not a thing. And so, when I think about self-care, what self-care means to me, it's about health. It's about health and it's about understanding that we can absolutely 100% pursue our dreams, pursue what makes us that sense of ambition, that sense of going for what we want, but without burning out. And that's really, really key. And that self-care, when it comes to the aspect of burnout, especially for an entrepreneur, when you're going, self-care is the pivotal key to avoid that sense of burnout and overwhelm that so many of us face on a regular basis.
I love it. And so, when you're thinking about avoiding, the burnout, when you're checking in with yourself, do you do that on like a daily basis? Is there kind of a regular format that you follow with that?
Oh, 100%. If it's okay, before I was where I am today, I was in the nonprofit sector for actually 10 years. And, it was in that season actually where I was going. I was your desk girl for everything. And it was really interesting because I would actually like have these moments of self-care booked out in my schedule, but I would always like something would come up and I'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to go swim for an hour. I'm just gonna do this instead. And what ended up happening in 2017, I ended up in my doctor's office as my doctor is looking at me and saying, Jessica, if you don't stop going as fast as you are right now, you are never going to recover. And in that moment, she slid this stack of paper across her desk and said, here's all the paperwork you need for disability because as of today, you're no longer working. So here I was at 33 years old, being forced to retire due to adrenal fatigue and major depression, which is, as we know, burnout. That's the medical definition of burnout. And it took me 2 years to recover. 2 years. And it was as I unpacked what had I was going through, and I went through all the stages of, first of all, not being able to get out of bed for over a month, to why is this happening to me? I'm a very A-type driven type of person, to surrendering to the fact that I was very, very sick. Burnout, medical burnout is an illness, you guys, and it does take time to recover. And so, but there's also a mental aspect to it as well, and the fact that we need to understand what is driving us to the point of pushing ourselves beyond our limits. And what I discovered through that season was that it was inherently tied to my identity and my worth. You see, for me, I was pushing myself beyond my limits to prove myself, to prove that I was worthy of the leadership position that I was in, to prove that I was a good mom, to prove that I was a good wife, to prove, because I was not rooted in who I was, in my sense of, now I knew my sense of purpose and calling, that hasn't changed, but I didn't understand that I inherently was good enough, that I had been placed in a position of leadership because I did have the skills, because I did have I had everything that I needed. I was really good at my job, but I didn't understand that within myself. And so I kept pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself to be better, not understanding that I was good enough as I was in all aspects of my life. And when I reflect back in the concept of self-care, I realized that I did not value myself enough, nor did I understand the value of rest. Right? So because I needed to prove myself, I kept pushing myself to be better. I kept pushing myself beyond my bounds, pushing myself past my limits. But more than that, I didn't value myself enough to listen to what my body was saying, what my mind was saying, what my heart was saying, what God was saying, to slow down. And it's really interesting when I look back in my recovery process, we went camping. And I remember sitting there going, I forgot. And I distinctly remember this conversation with my husband where we're sitting around the campfire and I was like, I forgot how much I love camping, because we had not done anything like that in probably 5 years. We had pushed aside play. We had pushed aside in the simple, enjoyable things. We hadn't done any of that for years because we were prioritizing work. We were prioritizing all of these things because of this misguided sense of duty and misguided sense of I need to prove myself. And so, you know, and it took a couple of years to unpack what was going on underneath. But I guess what I'm saying in this story is that self-care comes out of a place of self-respect and understanding that you are worthy just in and of yourself, because you are a human being, because you have been divinely created, because of who you are and who you've been called to be. That is enough. And your body and mind have limits to them. And that rest, self-care is this pause. It's about reinvesting into your own body, mind, and spirit in a way that rejuvenates you and fills you up so that you can continue to do the things that you've been called to do. It's putting gas in the tank.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for being so open and so vulnerable with your own experiences. Yeah, it's amazing. And I know that as you do that, you open up that platform for anyone who's in that moment right now feeling burnt out, to say, do you know what? You're not on your own. It doesn't get to be that way forever. There is hope on the other side of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you matter. Yeah. Yeah. We all, like you said, we're all worthy. We all are perfect exactly as we are. And we get to remember that and love on ourselves like that from that point.
Absolutely, yes.
I love that. So with your day-to-day right now, do you have like a self-care routine, or do you just kind of check in with yourself as the day goes along?
Do I have a daily routine? Yes. Okay. So my daily routine, it starts in the morning. So one of the things that I teach all of my clients is throughout the day when you are setting up your time, the me time is the most important part of the day, because you need to be spending time investing in your own self, investing in your growth, investing in yourself, investing in your care and your transformation. And that's actually something that's often missing And there's different aspects in how we want to be using that me time. So, you want to have me time that is about the inner work and inner transformation, where you are, getting quiet, you know, whether you're meditating or praying, whatever that looks like for you, where you're allowing yourself to just connect with the divine, to connect with God, because we understand that there's a source greater than ourselves that is going to continue to fuel us and allow us to move forward in ways and provide guidance. And it's really important to take that time in that sense, because it's just that clarity of thought and clarity of mind. I'm a big proponent for daily reading and setting goals and gratitude, because one of the principles of my practice is that gratitude is a key to happiness. And so understanding that those practices daily are key for your emotional well-being, for your spiritual well-being, but then also the physical, just daily habits of eating well, drinking water, getting your body moving, whatever that looks like, you know, recognizing that these are all really, really, really important. Getting outside. Oh my gosh. I don't think we minimize the value of just stepping outside, getting into nature, and allowing fresh air and sunlight and those things to just rejuvenate us, because there's something really powerful about nature and just being outside. If you live in the city, go to the park, go for a walk, get yourself outdoors, because it's just one of those ways that we're all naturally filled back up. And so one of the practices that I teach in my coaching practice is actually a system that I put together. It's a 31-day foundational practice routine where I guide my clients through the course of 31 days, where they get to practice every day, setting the foundation for their day through visualization, meditation and prayer, goal setting, gratitude, all of those things, so that they get into the habit. Because let's be really real, self-care is also a habit. And so over the course of 31 days, creating the habit of learning how to focus our heart and our mind on the life that we want to create. Because I believe another principle of my coaching practice is that we are the conscious creators of our life. And so there's intention and specificity in what is it that I want to create? What is God speaking to me today that I need to take action on? And learning how to slow down enough to give ourselves a moment to be fed, to learn and allow that inner transformation to happen, but also to take that what's going on on the inside, because what's on the inside comes out, and start creating our day. And so this practice is called 31 Rise, and it's really about learning over the course of 31 days, how do I start consciously creating my life? But more than that, who am I? 31 Rise is based on the Proverbs 31 woman, who, for those of you who are Bible people, she's this ancient woman at the end of the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and she's amazing. She's got 3 different businesses. She's ridiculously wealthy. She's got amazing relationships with her husband and children. She's a pillar in the community. And here's this shining example of a healthy entrepreneurial mom and wife who is making a difference. And there's so many lessons about who she is. And to be able to take that on and recognize that is, as women, sorry, gentlemen, who we are as well, and allow that truth to transform us over the course of 31 days as we develop the ability to take who God has created us to be and then put that into the work that we're doing, both in all aspects of our life. Because it's not just about business, but it's about our whole lives. Self-care is about our whole lives. and being able to walk in that truth and allow it to transform us. So yeah, I do daily 31 Rise, and it's a practice I teach my clients as well.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah. And I love that you take the 31 days, because then really those little tiny baby steps, by the
Mm-hmm.
end of that 31 days, it's become part of who you are. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Oh, thank you for sharing.
absolutely.
Oh, so thinking about yourself, when you are celebrating yourself, so you're celebrating your wins, what are the things that you do for absolute joy for you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked me this. Snow cones.
Ooh.
Okay, so I there where I live, there is a food truck that sells the best snow cones I have ever had in my life. And so anytime I'm celebrating a win, I'm like, guess what, everybody, we're going for snow cones. Oh my goodness. I love it. And so my kids get snow cones a lot.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love, yeah, snow cones is a big one. Or, and just play. Oh my gosh, we minimize the importance of play and just getting out and doing something fun. So sometimes it's going for a hike. I live in a really green nature area. So it could be, going for a hike. But yeah, no, we celebrate with snow cones a lot.
Oh, love, love, love it. I haven't had one, oh my gosh, in like years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, I get to meet them with the little one.
yeah.
So, is there like is there a kind of a thing from your childhood that relates into that that makes it such a celebration, or is it something that you've established with your own kiddos?
No, not that I can, not from my childhood per se. Um, when we actually moved over 2,000 miles a couple of years ago from Canada into the US. And this food truck was one of the first things we found when we moved down here. We were exploring the area, we were going for a walk um, in our new neighborhood and came across this snow cone food truck. And so we were like, hey, like, let's try it. And it was just, they were amazing. So it's actually a new tradition in our family. And it's been since we moved here that it's become something special.
Ooh, that's beautiful. And that was such a transformational moment for you, that huge move. So that makes complete sense. It's like a
Hmm.
celebration of that step of
Yeah,
faith that you took.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I love it. That's giving me like chills. Amazing. So thinking about somebody who's coming at self-care for the very first time, where would you suggest they begin?
It starts with the decision that you are important to. No matter what you are doing in your life, that sense of me time is the most important hour or two of the day. And it's what is going to sustain you no matter what. Like, it is a non-negotiable. And ultimately, if you are struggling with holding to that meantime, you really need to do the inner work to figure out what is blocking you from honoring your body. Like we are amazing people, we are amazing creatures, but we have this physical body that has limits, and we have to honor that limits if we want to run this race in the long run. And so we need to understand that our limits, honor those limits. And then if we are having an issue, like if you're on the edge of burnout, it's time to take a deep breath and say, okay, what's going on within me that keeps driving me past my limits? Like, we have to do the work to understand what's going on and why we keep pushing ourselves, because that's how awareness is always the first step of transformation. And we have to ask ourselves those hard questions so that we can honor that time and that self-care.
Yeah, I love it. So true. And it's, the same as any learning or any transformation is you get to be aware and acknowledge where you are
Yes.
to be able to then head
Yes.
towards where you want to go.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time. And I know that it's super early where you are. So I'm super grateful for you being able to fit us in this time for you.
100%. Yes.
Woo. And was there anything extra that you would like to share with the audience?
Yes. So I talked about 31 Rise. And so what I would love to do is that anybody who has participated in this, we are going to give you a link and I'm going to gift you 31 Rise. So if you were to go to my website, it's $31, but it's going to be my gift to anybody who is participating today, because I do believe in the power of 31 Rise, as well as the importance of establishing and creating that habit for the daily transformation. So I want to give you that gift and allow you to really begin that transformational journey. So just register with the link, and then you're going to get a coupon code to get it for free.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And
Yes,
I know,
absolutely.
yeah, and that gets to support, so many people. So thank
Absolutely, yes.
You're such a lovely, generous lady. I'm so
Oh,
grateful for you.
oh, me likewise, Liz. It's been wonderful.
Amazing. So yes, another huge thank you for the amazing Jessica. Woo!
You guys, thank you so much for listening in. I hope this was helpful for you.
I know it will be. I know it will. You're amazing.